characters that I've never seen before, but the old man is a pretty logical addition to the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that he looks that great in the green or blue. He looks pretty sharp in the red, though.
Well, hopefully they can get a red tunic. So here they go. Already hycutype heading to Link's house, doing probably the standard opening of checking the uncle. Looks like Tojso decided to check Sanctuary first real quick. And he's also at Link's house.
Yeah, I need a commentary link. Can you?
Oh,
or
sure.
I can just check. I probably have the right thing in my. I bet I'll just open this and it'll be right. Yeah. All right, I got it. Never mind.
So it looks like we have Phileon. I can't say her name. I'm sorry, but he's tracking. He's on tracker.
I think it's it might be someone who really dislikes lions.
So Tojso went south to head to town. He was able to farm for a couple of bombs. That way you don't have to worry about buying bombs right away before you get into town to do the different locations there.
Yeah, the problem with that is that that route can take several attempts. You have two bushes there, and they're each 50-50. So, there's a 75% chance you're going to get at least one bomb there. But really, it can be kind of risky if you never get a bomb drop, and then you want to check the race game and things like that. Man, they got a bottle already, huh?
Yep.
So early sick kid check, but he's got junk, so moving on.
So something you might see what Haiku's doing on his side, he did a poultry, he also checked the bush crab thing, whatever that is. It's a nice way to harvest these sort of things. Maybe they drop bombs, or maybe they drop like blue rupees or red rupees, which is really great. So it's good to have that knowledge, so that way you can prepare better for the rest of the seed. Now it looks like they also just got bombos in the woods. An early cape. Oh no, cape in a chicken house. Yes.
Yeah. Tojso let go of the bee there to see if he would fly to the bottle vendor to get a free 100 rupees from him. The bottle vendor likes the golden bee, but doesn't like regular bee.
That's right.
So, yeah. So the bee was wasted, but not a big deal. Sometimes it can be nice to use a bee in the Moldorm cave, but you can use bombs there pretty easily, so no problem. Man, those safety items, though. Already a cape and a cane, huh?
That's crazy. Well, maybe we'll be seeing Aghanim this seed, just because they got an early cape.
Yep, early cape. Clearly the worst item. Followed closely by early lamp.
Oh, that's true. You can't do Aghanim until you get that lamp. I mean, the logic says you're not supposed to do Aghanim until you get the lamp.
I mean, also sanity says that you're not supposed to do Aghanim without the lamp.
That's true.
So, oh man, we got a cape and a sword. This is bad news. I mean, everyone who plays this game casually is thinking the worst part of open is that you don't get a sword, right? But if you're racing this game, you see a sword, you think, man, the seed wants to kill Aghanim. So it's just a pain in the butt, and you don't want to go through that. Especially the worst part about killing Aghanim really is the guessing game about he required. So you have to either go out of the way to clear every spot on the light world to see if he's actually going to be required, or you just go straight for it and maybe screw up. Waste time killing him when it would have been required.
I mean, it takes about 3 minutes of your time to actually do that. You make the light world overworld a little harder, but really it's not up for consideration until you get that sword, because there is a curtain in the way. So we have seen seeds where our runners have gone like 45 minutes, almost an hour before getting their first sword. It's crazy.
Yeah, those amuse
that's
me.
the beauty of open.
I'm a fan of the swordless stuff.
Yeah, especially when you don't have hammer either, because then you really got to think about your alternate strats for killing these enemies.
Yeah. My least favorite fight might be Mothula, and you can't do that without a sword at all. So
yeah. So we're just seeing some standard checks so far. We're not going to get any deviation just yet. Our runners did pick up flippers, so we won't be seeing the fake flipper glitch this time. We'll be seeing real flippers.
yeah.
They'll probably try to get up to 500 rupees before heading to Zora, but there are a lot of items over at the Zora area now because of the waterfall ferry. You can go into the waterfall right in front of Zora's domain for 2 items.
Yeah, Tojso is going to do the front of escape right away. The only downside to this, I mean, it's nice to go in here and get some potential money for Zora and maybe some other items that will help you. But the downside here is that it would be good to death warp from the end of escape here and go directly to Aghanim if you think he's going to be required, just to save yourself the walk back to the castle.
So Haiku is making his way down to the dam, where there's 2 items here. He'll probably head on over to the mini Moldorm cave afterwards. That's pretty standard. Lots of items. 5 in that cave.
Yeah, an interesting consequence of the items that they have. Oh, Moon
Got
Pearl.
a Moon Pearl. So, if they get Lantern, they're gonna have to think. If they get Lantern before anything else, they're gonna have to think, do I want to go kill Aghanim? So, to access the Dark World, yeah, you can go kill Aghanim, but you need Lantern to get through that dungeon. You also need Glove, at least Power Glove, and there's the Lantern. Oh my gosh. So you need Power Glove, and you need either Hammer or the second glove upgrade, Titans. So you need one of those 2, and we haven't even seen any gloves yet, so they're far from being able to access the Dark World.
Yeah, this is like 99% Aghanim required seed right here.
It's really a question of if either of them. I mean, once Tojso goes over there and gets his Lantern, who's going to make the call early? Who's going to say, I'm going to gamble on just going to kill Aghanim?
There's almost no way that I would go. Oh,
There's
mirror! Tojso setting up the death warp and getting in the chest. It's so beautiful.
Now, he does have to be a little careful here.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lamp, so this is not a free chest to get without the lamp. He's gonna have to go through several rooms with ropes here, and they can do 1 heart of damage each, I think. Or is it die?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Oh, he picks up the heart. There's a heart under a pot, so yeah. I tried to do that the last time we did that room in the dark, and I couldn't find the pot, so I just moved on. But
oh no, they do half a heart. It just seems like a lot compared to rats, which are
the rats are a quarter heart. Oh, that's an interesting route by hycutype. I've seen it before, just not recently.
It's a little faster to swim, so it's nice. Did he get the chest? I sort of missed it.
Yeah, he did. It was a piece of heart, I think, and it gave him a full heart.
Yeah.
A refill. So hycutype is going to be set up really well if he goes and does escape right now, because he's going to go in there and get the lamp, or the mirror, I mean, at the end of escape. And then he can mirror back and do Aghanim right away. But I guess he's going to go do an Eastern check first. I wouldn't even bother heading to Sahasrali or Eastern at this point. You can do that after Aghanim.
So over here at Sahasrala, there are 3 items behind him, and you can get 2, maybe 3 items in Eastern if you decide to do it. So there are a lot of items over here.
I guess one problem here is that once they get to Dark World, they're not going to have much to do. I think the number one thing I'd expect to see here is probably a hookshot to give them Dark World access.
Speaking of, we have hammer as well.
Oh,
hookshot
man.
And hammer.
You see hycutype pause there, because he knows the hammer is just taunting him. I'm
All right,
just
so
saying,
now this is the question, because if they get a glove anywhere in the light
Yeah.
world, you don't have to kill Aghanim.
yeah, that includes all of Zora and everything like that too.
So I do want to bring up what you mentioned before. So thinking about killing Aghanim, so you automatically get access to the pyramid item. Now the only thing you can actually reach without glove is Pod, but without bow, Pod is not necessarily gonna really get you anything.
Yeah.
But with hookshot, and especially with flippers, you can get to the left-hand bank of the river just north of the pyramid, and then that means you have access to the western half of Dark World and all the chests and locations there.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, if I'm finding myself in hycutype shoes right here, I feel like, you know, this probably isn't going to pay off going into a Crystal Eastern early, which you don't want to do because you're almost certainly not going to get the bow in here, and then you're going to have to re-enter it later. And it's just, you know, you want to try to minimize re-entering dungeons if you can to save yourself time. But at the same time, there are so many items in here that could help them out at this point and maybe give them a glimmer of hope for not having to do Aghanim and saving that time there.
We're close at this point. If they pick up any sort of glove, that's it.
Yeah, a glove or a flute would give them all of Death Mountain access. So
That's true.
That would be pretty powerful as well.
I do want to point out that Zora is technically on a table because of flippers, so they can access legitimately, according to the logic, they can access.
Yeah,
Zora.
we've got a lot of flipper items that are unchecked. We've got 5 of them. Plus, there's a peek at the island right here, which is just a full heart.
So yeah, it looks like Tojso's going to take a little trip to the hobo. And Haiku,
Yep.
Is he gambling?
No, he's gonna go get the.
He's getting rupees.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have bow, so it's not like he can beat the dungeon anyway. So this is a decent location to farm. A few rupees. You can see how close he is to being able to access Zora now.
Yeah. Whereas Tojso does not have Zora money, and he seems unlikely to get it. Ooh, boots.
He gets some footwear from the hobo.
Those are obviously really nice, but they're pretty unlikely to open anything because they only unlock one overworld location right now.
Yeah.
Something else to watch out for though is if we find the book, because book plus boots together means let's all go to desert.
Yeah. So let's see. Now we have a bit of a divergence from our runners here, and Haiku certainly has a lot of hype in his pockets, but here Tojso is going to talk to the Waterfall Fairy, and maybe he'll luck out and get enough rupees to go visit Zora while he's here.
Could happen.
Not quite.
Man, I'm wondering what hycutype's move is going to be. You have to feel like he's planning on Zora with that money that he just got there. But how is he going to make up the difference in money?
So not much in Eastern though. I mean, it's nice to have a fairy in a bottle for safety, but really the actual worth was Sahasrara. Is he doing the call? Is he making it?
I don't think hycutype has done the front of escape yet, so he's gonna go do that first.
Oh, that's right, because we were talking about he could do that and then put it into. Because he doesn't have mirror yet. All right, let's see if Flanktuary gives us anything on Tojso's side. Just a blue rupee.
That's 5 more rupees than he had before.
I haven't really seen a good way to farm rupees. I mean, the tree pull was just hearts. It was just green rupees from the crab.
So hycutype doesn't know it, but he's got enough money now because there's the 20 in the waterfall.
That's true. AA in chat brings up a good point. So something I've seen before, and actually Haiku's doing it now, is you can sequence break to the back of escape. So he got a small key there. By the logic, I don't think it assumes you're going to use the small key like somewhere towards where the mirror is for us. But you can take that, bring it to the back, open the 3 chests there, which you'll get a small key from them because we know there's one there, and bring it back forward. Now, if he had the mirror, this would be a lot better because he could just mirror back to the front. But mirror's in the last chest, Zelda chest.
Yeah, this is the first time I've actually seen anyone make this play, but it's really great to see, and I would be fantastic if it pays off for hycutype. Could be a huge leg up for him, because I don't think there. But I mean, there's no chance that Tojso is going to do it because it's
too late. Yeah.
Yeah.
But imagine if it's a glove.
It's certainly possible. As long as we haven't seen one glove, there's a chance that the second one is at the back of escape.
So Tojso did pick up his hook shot and hammer. And of course, he's making good use of the boots here because he's able to get that spin speed.
Yeah, that's going to be a certain advantage for him in clearing Eastern that hycutype didn't have.
And Hobo's really a fast check. When you have flippers, it's such a fast thing to check too. Let's see what he gets for his trouble. Well, he doesn't have enough rupees to go visit Zora. And that's it. So no sequence breaking here. But maybe a trip to Zora now.
Yeah, that certainly seems that it would be on the table next. So he'll get his boots right away here, and then he'll probably go back to escape. So the only question we have here is what's at Zora. And also Agina remains unchecked.
Yeah, I think this is pretty much it, actually. Zora and Agina. It's just, like,
Yeah.
I think those are the only 2 locations. So it's either that or killing Aghanim. They're down to these 3 things from what we've seen. And really, it's a race for who gets the first glove or who gets Dark World access at this point. Yeah, Haiku did the back of escape by sort of sequence breaking, and when he decides to go back to escape, he'll be able to finish the rest of it. If he decides to check those chests, which hopefully he will, because it's mirror, and there's a small chance mirror is required.
Not really small. It's a significant chance.
Well, so technically, mirror only unlocks swamp, but knowing the way this randomizer is, you're gonna want swamp access anyway, regardless if it's a pendant or a crystal.
Yeah, but it also unlocks a few overworld locations in addition to that.
Yeah. Actually, mirror is really nice. If they can get access to the Dark World, well, they have hookshot. It doesn't matter much.
Oh, I just realized that hycutype has the that fairy in a bottle, so he's not going to be trying to set up a death warp in escape the second time. Unless he forgets. That's certainly happened to a good number of us in the past.
Here we go. Zora have a glove for sale? No, he has life lessons for sale.
You know, a partial refund is better than nothing.
Well, Haiku just leaves it on the ground there. Not even worth his time. Tojo's making the call. He's going to go kill Aghanim.
Yeah.
So really, this is a good call. Of course, Tojso doesn't know that Zora has nothing for sale.
Yeah.
But it's really this or Agina. So it looks like Haiku might be finishing up Escape as well, and maybe joining him. We'll have to see.
This is such a common scenario in
hammer strats.
Randomizer. Oh, do we have seen the stun prize, right?
I don't remember. I don't think so. I didn't notice.
I didn't notice it either. But it would be nice right now, like for Tojso's purposes, if it's a heart. Because he can use that hook shot and farm some health back if he chooses to do so. I find myself dying in stupid spots all the time in Aghanim's tower.
Now it looks like Haiku's farming for some hearts, so he's clearly not setting up the Death Warp. He knows he has a fairy. He might be farming for hearts just so he can backtrack to go do Aghanim.
That's a nice hammer dash right there, because you have to stop it right on the enemy.
Tojso is not setting up for a Death Warp, not on purpose anyway. He's making the way up Aghanim Tower. You don't want to die here, because that will send you all the way back to the beginning. So he does need to be careful here.
There is definitely not a useful Death Warp there. Oh my god, this ball and chain guy is just being ridiculous.
Ooh, careful. Oh, he's out of half a heart. There is a couple of hearts in here, but he has to be really careful with the way the guards move.
So, hycutype did not check the bonk rocks. In addition to...
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he just got the boots and then went into escape.
But I don't blame him for making this play.
So both of our runners here having low hearts. So Tojso has to be really careful on Aghanim. Now, Aghanim is pretty straightforward. It's sort of scripted. There are easy ways to avoid the blue balls if they happen. So he should be okay, but just in case, let's hope for the best. Both have fairies? Oh, they have 2 bottles. Oh, okay, he picked up the fairy bottle. Well, never mind then.
Yeah, they got a fairy bottle in the big chest in Eastern.
For some reason, I was thinking Tojso didn't have the fairy bottle.
Nope,
but yeah, they both visited Eastern. I mean, you certainly don't want to use it early on in case you need it later, but...
Yeah. If you would stand in the right places, you shouldn't need down Aghanim anyway.
Yeah. Wow, no blue balls from Aghanim yet.
The 300 rupees was in the back of Escape, and hycutype took a key from the front of Escape and took it to the back. So that should check those chests.
That is a location that Tojso will eventually check himself once he gets gloves, I assume.
Most likely. It would be pretty rare to not check that.
So there goes Haiku's fairy.
Oh, as long as you got it, well, you might as well use it, right?
Sure.
Can't just sit in the bottle the whole seed.
Just a red rupee on the pyramid. Tojso looks like he's farming for some rupees, so he might be thinking about Zora at some point. So here we'll see he has Hookshot equipped. So this is what we were talking about earlier. Hookshot is needed to get to the left-hand side. Now, you have to get past these rocks. You can use hammer. You can swim past it in the water on the left-hand side, which is very important for new runners. They might not realize you can swim to get up to that, the steps on the right-hand side to get past those rocks. In
this situation, what I think is the most appealing play, though, is just taking the hammer and going straight to Hyde Cave.
Oh, you would go down?
First, yeah. I go down first and then come back up and go around. Just because if you get a glove or something in Hype Cave, then that, you know, there's a lot of possibilities there to open things up for you.
Hammer's really nice to have. I mean, it just unlocks so many things. It's the most annoying when that happens to be one of the last items you get in a randomizer, because it restricts so much, and you might not realize quite how much is locked behind Hammer. Ooh, Haiku taking a fall there. Tojso is taking a look at the northern side of the map here with the mirror. He can actually get every item over here, because he has cape, so he can get if anything's on the ledge.
Ooh, the swamp play is open, AA points out. That's a interesting play.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't seen either map checked yet, have we? So
we saw Light World.
We did see Light World?
All
okay.
Crystals.
Oh, I see. They're all crystals. And Eastern is a red crystal, as we would call it.
Sweet. with Swamp being open, that actually brings up like being able to visit Hype Cave and then just going into a dungeon right away. Like that's pretty neat.
It's certainly appealing, but at the same time, there's always the question with doing Swamp. If you're doing it this early, you'd probably want to full clear it, but full clearing Swamp is a bit of a pain. Oh, we got some Ice Rod action up on the Bumper Cave, huh?
So all I noticed was that Skullwoods. He's having trouble with the murder dactyls here.
He's got the cape, but he doesn't have the glove needed to get into the cape.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so T-Rock is a crystal, so he will eventually want to get that Ice Rod. Skullwoods here is a pendant dungeon, but it still could have a lot of items. I think one of the memes is always go into Skullwoods for V26, because it's like there's always something worth here. Only 2 items, but just the way the randomizer determines where it puts items means this is a decent location. And there's a pair of gloves!
Oh, in Skullwoods was the first one?
Oh, yeah. So, pair of glove. Oh, well, a single. The power glove. The power glove is in Skullwoods. And now he can go back and pick up that Ice Rod.
Big key to check the big chest. See a bomb jump right here.
Let's get some hype going on in chat. Hycu's doing the other end with the hammer and taking a look at Hype Cave.
Let's see if he makes the swamp play after this.
There's a sword upgrade, which is really nice to have at this point.
Yeah.
And there's a book. There are 2 items in Skull. Tojso just got both of them. There's Fire Rod over in hycutype. Oh my gosh.
Wow. So hycutype is almost certainly going to head towards Skull when he gets over there, since he's got the firepower to deal with the whole thing now.
Alright, so so Tojso got 2 items of worth in Skullwoods, and he's going to go pick up his Ice Rod now, which we know is required. Hycu got the other rod, Fire Rod, in Hype Cave, and that, of course, gives them access. Now, they have Bombo, so they already had access to beat Ice once they can actually enter it. But it also lets them finish Skull and took Rock.
Yeah, just missing those... The mitts and the bow are the real blockers right now, and then, of course, the cane.
The cane, yeah. That's actually it. And once we get the medallion check... They don't even need Flute, necessarily, because they don't need to access Mire. It's a pendant dungeon. Oh,
sure. Yeah, that Mire definitely not required. Pendant Mire never required in V26.
Watch this be the one seat that Bo is just hanging out there.
Oh, no, it's in there like half the time.
Only a piece of heart from the digging game. You'll notice that there was a variable number of digs that has been randomized now, but it's standard in the seed, so if Tojso does the shovel game, he'll have to do the same number of digs.
Yeah. It's kind of good to see a hycutype picking up that piece of heart.
Alright, so Tojso enters his first dungeon, which will be Thieves.
As long as you're not counting Skullwoods or Eastern.
Well, I mean, I should say completing it. I assume he's going to complete it.
Right. It would be quite the unorthodox strategy to not complete a Crystal Thieves once you enter it.
He has Hammer, so he can access every single chest in here. So it's a pretty easy call to just full clear this Crystal Dungeon.
Plus, if he has any problems, he's got both Cape and Cane to give himself some safety.
So now Hycu has the Master Sword, so he's able to make faster work of these enemies. It looks like he's going to make his way over to Skull Woods. So hopefully he goes inside. With the Fire Rod, I think it's an easy call to just go and beat that dungeon. So he'll probably be picking up his gloves soon. Oh, the old man was a skeleton when he was bunnied.
You know, they've got the mirror and they got the book in Skullwood, so Tojso could have checked the pedestal right away if he chose to.
Oh, that's a good point. And having that sort of knowledge is useful.
But there's not a whole lot that could be at the pedestal, really.
Let's see. Well, bow, of course, is the obvious thing that could be at the pedestal.
Yeah, I suppose.
I think that's it. Yeah, because it can't be flute, it can't be cane. It could be a medallion. It could be whatever you need access to Turtle Rock. So there could be two things at the pedestal.
I think already having the ice rod makes the pedestal less appealing, but I think the majority of my pedestal seeds have been like medallions for Turtle Rock or Mire.
I mean, the worst is when it's a fetch quest item. So it's like you don't know if this leads to what you need.
Yeah, I haven't had the pleasure of one of those yet.
So the flute can't be at pedestal because you need flute to get to Misery Mire, which is a pendant dungeon. So I mean, basic rule of thumb is you take a look at your pendant dungeons, and whichever items are required to beat those dungeons, it can't be at the pedestal. So Haiku, noticing there's the ice rod, but he also can't pick up this rock. It's so weird to have like access to the Dark World, but not have any gloves yet.
Right, and have the cape there. I suppose if you don't have gloves, then there's a good chance you have the cape. Or an upgraded sword, I suppose. Oh, hycutype, using my route for Skullwoods. I like it.
The backward... I sort of like it, but it's gotten me into trouble for when I've tried it.
To me, this takes away the potential to go through one or two very annoying rooms in the dungeon.
Well, he'll want to go through those rooms, because Glove's in one of them.
Right.
Okay, he has to be really careful here if he doesn't make this bomb jump. There he goes.
Well, yeah, not even just the bomb jump. He's got these mold arms to deal with then. That death warp is... Oh, I guess it's gonna work now. That's why you got rid of that pesky fairy. Alright. Now we get the health refill. Oh, is he gonna leave? Oh, no, he's gonna jump in the hole. That's
right, he doesn't have a key, so he has no choice.
Right.
Alright,
Sorry
Tojso's tackling blind. And he still has the plastic sword. And there is the glove, right? Is that the glove?
Yeah, that was the glove for hycutype.
Yeah. So I'm watching both streams. I had a feeling I remember where that was. Alright, so I'm hoping we see a pedestal check. I honestly want to get it out of the way. You sort of want to know so you can plan for that sort of thing. You can route properly, and you don't know. Was that Bo at blind?
Oh my goodness!
Wow!
This seed is just piling on the items. We haven't even been to Death Mountain yet.
We're 30 minutes in, and we are like one item away from go mode, maybe. No, two, because we still need mitts, and we need cane. So at least 2 items. Fire Rod was in Hype Cave, and Tojso will definitely be making his way over, probably now, heading towards Hype Cave.
Yeah, he'll probably do the digging and stuff first, but he'll be on his way.
I mean, we have a lot of dungeons actually open to our runners at this point. They have a book, so they can, and they have a fire rod, so they can do desert.
Yeah.
They can make their way up the Tower of Hera. They have the bow, which is Eastern End Pod.
I mean, that's kind of a consequence of being close to go mode is you have most of the items, so... Draining that magic. Come on. I guess if you're going to Thieves, that's a good place to refill the magic, most likely.
Yeah, you don't really need magic. You could use it for safety. You have the cape and blue cane in case you need it on blind, but otherwise you don't really need magic. So, Haiku didn't finish Skullwoods because it's a pendant, so he doesn't know if you need pendant yet. Maybe he decided it would just take too long to do a pedestal check, Usually you think, okay, I got to 2 items, I can leave Skull Woods.
Right.
So
I'm
both of our
not
runners
one
did it.
to make a specific pedestal check most of the time, unless I'm in the back part of Skullwoods.
Yeah.
It's just a possibility, and a lot of runners will make a pedestal check if they're like anywhere near Kakariko and have the book. So it's kind of a matter of preference and just how important that knowledge is to you.
So Tojso is making his way into Hype Cave. He'll be rewarded with the Fire Rod. So he has both rods. They have access to Death Mountain, but not to Dark World Death Mountain, because you need mitts to do that.
Yeah, but with the number of items that are on Death Mountain, it's certainly possible that those mitts are up there. And or the cane.
Let's see where Tojso decides to go. Haiku's definitely going to be finishing up Thieves here. He'll be rewarded with the bow at the end.
I would think that the Bombos tablet looks pretty tempting here, and then maybe head straight to desert from there.
That's true. It looks like he's heading over to that Bombos tablet right now. It's usually a little better. You want to hit the crystal dungeons before pendant dungeons. Swamp is a pendant dungeon, and it's also very time-consuming to full clear. But there are 6 items in there. They're missing those mitts. Need to figure out where those mitts and that cane is.
Not like in the play to go to, first.
Well, I'm actually curious. If he drops a glove, that means
Aghanim wasn't required, of course.
Yeah. So let's see.
But still, that's knowledge we could have gotten after finishing desert.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then you could save and quit from this back room.
Both of our runners made a good call. It was an Aghanim required seed.
No. No, hycutype, stop. You don't need to death warp anymore.
So now when our runners take damage, we'll just say they're setting up a death warp, regardless of where they are. Oh! It's on Desert Ledge!
Oh man, this route is working out pretty well for Tojso right now.
The problem is he has so much open to him, though. Where do you go? So he's missing a cane, and hopefully, if he makes his way up to Death Mountain, we'll also see which medallion he needs.
Yeah, there's approximately 3,000 items on Death Mountain, so go there first.
I mean, with Titan's mitts, you have full access. There is a lot of items up there. I mean, if we're also counting Hera, in addition, we're hitting, what, 20 items? Something like that?
No, Catfish didn't happen. Catfish wasn't possible when our runners were in that area.
Yeah, you need glove to access the Catfish. So there are 2 items in Desert, so Tojso is taking a look for them. Because, of course, he still needs a cane at the bare minimum. I'm also really curious where Haiku's gonna go after this. He already did the Hype Cave check, so he doesn't necessarily go that route. He might, with the bow, he might go right to Palace of Darkness in Eastern.
What Tojso's gonna do here is leave the right side chest in Desert for now, and then land molas are required, so he'll go and grab his mitts here, and then go kill land molas. And if land molas don't drop the cane, then he'll go back into Desert most likely and check those last 2 chests there.
To get his second item.
Yeah. This could be one of the earliest go modes of the tournament, I'd say, if cane drops here pretty quick. Of course, we still have to confirm the medallion for Turtle Rock, but that's just another reason to head up to Death Mountain right away.
Definitely.
And then on top of that, it's a matter of safeties. They're not really in great shape for the fights they have to do, but they could just, you know, load the bottles that they have with some blue potions and, you know, give the dungeons a go with the Master Sword and try to skip as much as they can.
Yeah, I mean, they have Cape and Cane, but without half magic, you're not going to get that much use out of them. But no bug net to catch extra fairies. They really will have to rely on potions.
Right. No powder either. Nicely done by Tojso, way to not waste any shots. He finds the map here, so I expect we'll see him go back into the beginning of Desert as well. Hycutype now is going up to...
Are we getting a Death Mountain play?
Yeah. Has he checked the egg in him? Okay. He must have already checked the tree. I didn't notice.
Yeah, he checked it earlier. He read it that earlier. So Tojso is heading back in because he didn't get the item that he wanted. So he's going to finish the right-hand side, as we mentioned earlier. And Haiku's making his way. Now, we know where the myths are, so unfortunately Haiku can only do the Light World Death Mountain, but, you know...
Right, this is a significant advantage for Tojso that he's only going to have to make one trip up to Death Mountain to full clear it.
He can see the medallion. Like, that's important knowledge to determine if you can go into go mode.
Right.
There's a shovel for Tojso. So here's a fetch quest. The actual old man in the game cannot dash. So you have to walk him. I think it's slower if you, like, actually try to dash compared to just walking. At least it feels that way. Let's see if Haiku decides to pick up the bug net. Yep. There's a bug net. They can go back and kill Aghanim again with the bug net. Shovel is just a red rupee. And Haiku's making his way right into Hera. It is a crystal dungeon. There are 2 items in here. I'm actually curious where Tojso is heading right now. Looks like he, with the bow, is going to make his way into Eastern and Pod.
Yeah, can't blame him for that either. This is all required stuff, so you're going to nearly full clear these dungeons anyway. Doesn't hurt to see if your required items are lying in here.
Now you can save a little bit of time, go mode pod, but it's not that much time. It's not like swamp difference.
It kind of just, it depends on where the big key is going to be. It's definitely not nearly as consistent as the time you would save in a go mode swamp. The expected amount you would save in a go mode pod is like maybe a minute sometimes.
Now, there are 5 items in Palace of Darkness. As long as you have bow and hammer, you can reach all of them. We have so Eastern and Ice are fat fairy crystals.
Sorry, I got interrupted a little bit. I didn't see everything that was checked for a minute or 2 there. But
we haven't seen anything new yet.
Okay. Yeah. Did hycutype just get 1 item in here so far? So are we hoping for another one at Moldor?
I haven't been keeping track.
Okay.
So... So Master Sword against Moldor, you just need 3 spins to kill him, and he doesn't even get into his fast mode. We have the map. I think they have to go to basement for the full clear of Hera. Red boomerang. They're saying that Haiku got the red boomerang.
Yeah, I saw the red boomerang. if hycutype makes a play for the basement here, and that's where the cane is, that could be quite a boon to him. It could be a long time before Tojso heads in that direction, but he's going there. But in hycutype's mind, there aren't that many places left where the mitts could be, so this is a pretty logical play for him.
I mean, he's hoping to get mitts up here so that way he can immediately go into Dark World Death Mountain and, like, basically save some time there. So you can see on Haiku's side, he's doing the little, let's take a 30-second break here. If you hit the orb and you're standing on the peg when it comes up, you're in this, like, weird, invulnerable state where you can't take any damage.
Of course, it's important to make sure that you're not standing in a place where you soft lock yourself and have to mirror out.
So Tojso's finding all the fetch quest items. He just got magic powder. Again, you know, is that what we need? Is that going to lead to Kane?
Possible. I would more count on it being in dungeon, most likely, but just a heart in the basement. Regardless of whether powder is required for the fetch quest aspect, it's certainly a nice safety item to have.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the nicer fetch quest items because it actually has a use. Alright, let's see what's on the Skyloft. Bombs.
Oh, hycutype is gonna... Oh, there you go. You don't want that fairy, it's gonna mess up all your death orbs.
That's true. You don't want to mess up all those death orbs you set up. I see blue suit on the Tojso side. So he has a little extra safety here.
You got the blue suit in the vanilla big key chest.
I don't know, so far no real worth up in Death Mountain yet. Although the big location is where Haiku's heading now. There's 7 items over here.
Yeah, and then of course the dark Death Mountain spots, which hycutype is not going to have access to. Oh, we got a mushroom.
That is all of our fetch quests. Right here in Pod.
One convenient location.
At least, they don't have flute, so they can't even take a look at mushroom quickly. They could do it on the way to Catfish if they so wish.
Oh, the best item at or one of the best items at the witch, of course, is the flute itself.
Oh, jeez. Now, there's silvers for hycutype.
Nice.
It's a very low chance as a pedestal seed at this point. It's really based on what medallion is needed to get into Turtle Rock.
Right. It can't even be a fetch quest item because we've seen them all.
Yeah. So we will see. If they check it, we will see exactly what's in there.
I would expect Tojso after he finishes Eastern to head up to Death Mountain, so I guess that's when we'll know.
I mean, he's in required dungeons. He's gonna get crystals anyway. Let's see, is Haiku making a pod play? I think so.
You can't blame him for his strats. They're just, causing anxiety for us as viewers because we don't know the medallion for Turtle Rock.
Yeah. Oh, this is part of the fun, though. We get to speculate. It's all good. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't keeping a count of Tojso's item. I'm not sure if he found the map. I know he found the compass, so I'm not sure if King Helmasaur has an item yet. So something important to realize is that mitts, which is what Haiku is missing, is what gets you access to the 3 last dungeons: Ice, Mire, and Turtle Rock. Like, regardless of if you have a way to get there, you need mitts to actually open those dungeons. So very quickly he's going to run out of places where he can go. And he's going to make his way to Desert, which is also a crystal dungeon, so he'll probably go there sooner than later. And get those mitts.
He could do Swamp before going to desert if he
True.
chose to do so. And it would make some routing sense to do that, but the better play in the logic is probably just to go straight to desert and put off swamp. But then who knows? Maybe swamp has the cane in it. Certainly possible.
Okay, there was the map for King Helmsar.
Silvers were in the 7-item cave in East Death Mountain. Hello to everyone who has said hi to me, by the way. I don't want to point out people in chat too much individually.
Alright, so Tojso's gonna finish up Eastern here. He was already here before, so it's just a quick trip to the boss, to Armos, and of course he has arrows to make quick work of them. He doesn't have silvers like Haiku does, but it's still not that bad.
Yeah, that's an interesting little advantage that Haiku has here. Can speed up both of these boss fights that Tojso is doing.
So now you have everyone in chat saying hi to you.
Yeah, alright. Anyone who didn't say hi to me before, you were not said hi to. You don't need to greet me.
Oh, getting trolled. What are they, the Beatles or something? Oh, good. Now I'm getting highs as well. I hope you all are enjoying the race. It's a close race. It's hard to say really who's actually in the lead because they both have different things and they both have checked different locations. You can see in terms of crystal count, it's just Tojso has a 1 crystal lead, and it is important because it got him mitts going to that dungeon.
Alright. Eastern Palace. This seems like a pretty unlikely place for Kane, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it here. Oh, it's the map. Never mind. That wasn't even an item.
Just a burrito. Bosses do like to drop those maps, don't they? We had Helmsar dropping a map. Armos dropping a map. It's like, now that you've gone all the way through my dungeon, here you go, here's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's really not a coincidence. It's just part of the logic that they are most likely to have the map more than anything else.
Alright, let's see, is Tojso... Oh, he's taking a warp.
He is going to...
He's doing the mushroom check.
Oh, yeah.
So having flippers, being able to use those warps is a nice way to get around when you don't have flute.
I don't know how much faster it is than just running from Eastern, or from Sanctuary, especially when you can either hook shot or do the water walk across to get there.
Oh, spawn walkers. I mean, personally, I probably would have put it in with checking the catfish as well.
Well, the nice thing about what he's doing here is that he gets to get some potions.
Yeah.
I think he is anticipating some Turtle Rock in his near future, my guess. What?
Still have that magic powder. We don't know what that gives us as a fetch quest.
Is he gonna do ice next?
Maybe.
This is a logical play. I feel like I'd rather go to, but just based on the practice I've been doing at this point, I feel like going to Death Mountain is a little safer than going directly to ice. But the nice part here is there's certainly a decent chance that the cane is in ice, and then he only has to make 1 trip at Death Mountain when he goes up there to check it.
Now, this will also get him access to the Fat Fairy. The Fat Fairy
True.
crystals are marked on our tracker there. It has a little star to the left of it. You need 2 crystals to access the Fat Fairy. And in this case, it happens to be the one at Eastern, on the left-hand side, the lower left-hand side, and Ice Palace. So if he gets both of these, he can go visit the Fat Fairy for 2 items.
Man, at this point, I feel like hycutype is gonna have to check some out of the way overworld spot and find a required item in order to catch up some, because if the items are right along the path, then Tojso's got a clear leg up in this race.
I mean, I think we've gotten to the point where it's like, who's making the correct call? Like, if Haiku decides to make his way in the swamp, it's a race to see which one of them is correct with where Kane is.
Right, but ice is something you have to do anyway, so it's just another minute or 2 to clear out the rest of the chest. Full clear of Ice Palace is greatly disliked by the community, but it's really not that bad of a thing.
Some pause buffering from Tojso setting up the bomb jump. You have to stand pretty much at a particular location.
Oh no!
Oh no, he took a fall! In relation to where the bomb is in order to do the bomb jump.
At least now all the pots are out of the way, but then on the downside, you can't hookshot to them. But I guess he didn't even switch to the hookshot, so there's that.
I like that bomb strat when you only have Master Sword on killing those penguins.
Yeah, I guess it's the bonk part of it that's the key there to not getting damage and getting them lined up. I wonder... hycutype having a little trouble in that room that feels like it's usually pretty automatic, but sometimes things happen, I guess. Oh, what I was going to say, I was wondering what the strat in that room would be without the boots. I don't quite know.
Oh, then you can't bonk, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to use hookshot personally on them, because it just insta-kills them.
Yeah, hookshot is great. If I have hookshot, I use it there every time, but it's more of a strats when I don't have the hookshot.
I like Tojso just wailing on that Stalfos there with all the skull pots.
Yeah.
So it's surprising that number of enemies are actually vulnerable to hookshot, and that's something you learn playing open when you don't have a good sword. Is that, like, especially like Swamp and here in Ice Palace, there's a lot of enemies you can kill just with hookshot, and it's a great tool to have.
It's like the enemies are just inflatable or something. You just have to poke them the right way.
It's true. I mean, I like to say they're ticklish, but that's from the Super Metroid community, with the grapple beam being the tickle beam.
Ah.
Alright, let's see where Haiku decides to head. So he didn't save and quit. So he might be heading to Catfish and taking a look at his mushroom, maybe.
Man, I've been screwing up this this hookshot clip through that block recently a few times, and it really drives me bonkers. So, Tojso is left with a terrible choice here of checking that last chest or skipping it, and he's gonna go up and check it.
And this is actually sort of neat. He can backtrack through these key doors, and he doesn't actually need the keys to open them. Because you just clip through them.
Well, it looks like hycutype is putting his witch check together with a check of Catfish.
Quake, another medallion, which makes it much less likely to even need to check T-Rock.
Wow.
You could just almost assume that you have the proper medallion.
Yeah, that Quake is looking awfully good right now. Wouldn't be too surprised whatsoever if that is what you need to get into Turtle Rock.
Oh man, deep in ice? That'd be interesting. It's typically the last location you check when you're doing a full clear anyway.
Yeah, though there are some routes now where people go down there early and then, you know, they might do some bomb jumps to work that chest in earlier and then maybe do the right side later. And there's just a variety of different ways you can do ice. And I'm not really sure if there's a objective proof of which way is better.
So we just had a full heart container from the catfish, which is a nice safety, but it's not the cane that we're looking for. So let's see if Haiku decides to head into Swamp. He's sort of heading in this direction right now.
He's going to Dark World, but where is he gonna go from that point? Is he gonna go into Swamp, or is he gonna just check some overworld stuff and then maybe go to Desert? Let's see if he's making a play on it.
Oh, it looks like the same thing Tojso did. He's gonna head on over to Bombos, and maybe also go over to Desert when he's done there.
Probably thinking the same thing. Now, Kane could very well be in Swamp, but that's a place that is time consuming and you might want to put it off as long as you can.
Yeah, honestly, we're looking at Swamp, Dark World Death Mountain. We also could see it at the Fat Ferry, and also the southern port, the Blacksmith and the Magic Bat and the Purple Chest. Like, all of those haven't been checked yet, so any of those could have the cane.
Yeah, hycutype has seen his mitts now, so he knows that he's potentially just a cane away from go mode. He'll likely end up full clearing Desert, possibly the exact same way that Tojso did.
So I think Tojso's right away. He's going to do the Fat Fairy. Maybe combine that with Catfish, since he hasn't done it yet. So, of course, Fat Fairy gives us 2 items. And as I mentioned before, there were 2 crystals that you needed to access it, and Tojso just completed the second one. So let's see if it's worth.
Having Aghanim killed, this is one of almost the only nice things of having Aghanim killed, is you can use this little warp to bring the bomb up here.
So you don't have to hammer. A little faster.
Right. Yeah. It is significantly faster, like 30 seconds, a minute maybe.
Oh, that's neat. So he does the spin strat, so that way he doesn't pick up the bomb. There's the cane!
Oh,
and
man!
The Fat Fairy!
Wow!
So this is the point. He doesn't know if he's in Go mode, because we haven't seen Turtle Rock. But he's in
all
really
he's got
good
left
position.
are Turtle Rock and Hera, so
that's true!
No reason not to go up to Death Mountain now.
And he hasn't unlocked it yet!
He is in some excellent position. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's pretty much like, he's gonna go up to Death Mountain. He's gonna go right to Turtle Rock and preferably open it up, and if he can't, he's gonna check the chest while he's up there.
Yeah. Now a question here is he going to check any chests on the way up for, you know, a potential sword upgrade, maybe that 3rd medallion?
Oh, if he doesn't, he's missing out on the silvers.
Right.
Which he should be fine doing. It's just that it's going to be a small advantage for Haiku. As long as Haiku does Fat Fairy, but he has to do all of Ice Palace, and he's probably going to do a full clear of it.
Yeah, Haiku's significantly behind at this point.
With it being a Fat Fairy, definitely.
This was just almost immaculate route by Tojso from all appearances here. So, man, that cane at the Fat Fairy, that was quite something.
He might take a look at the chest. It's very quick, and they still only have Master Sword. So maybe. We'll see. We'll see what he does. He's clearly not taking a look at Spectral Rock. So we will not announce go mode until we actually see what's up there. And he is taking a look at these chests, so it's a good thing he's doing this because he's about to get some silvers.
Oh, he walked in right on cave, but soon he'll check right on chest.
I mean, this is a pretty early go mode, so Tojso might think he's okay.
I mean, we're really looking at an easy sub 130 here.
Yeah.
Which is impressive. One of the best times of the tournament, I'm sure.
There, Haiku did the same thing where he killed Lamolas, hoping for Kane. Now he's going to take a look at the 2 items on the right-hand side. There's silvers for Tojso, and of course a nice, shiny new shield.
This is making me rethink my contention that an early hype cave in this situation is good. Oh, hycutype jumped down. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Never mind, he's going to do the Agano now. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's see. Once he hits these pegs, we'll see. Oh no, it froze.
Ah!
Okay, we're okay.
I think Fiesel was just messing with us. This looks like a good time to pause it.
Bombos!
Oh, so we didn't even need that
go
quick.
mode.
Didn't even need that out of the way chest in ice. Didn't need a single chest in ice.
And Tojso did pick up silvers on the way just in case when he was checking it. So yeah, he's pretty well set.
Hycutype. I would have been tempted still to go and check Hookshot Cave and the other cave quickly to see if there's a sword upgrade over there, because it seems like there's a decent chance of one, and it's a quick check, and it would speed up Turtle Rock significantly.
He might do that after he's done Turtle Rock.
Right, but I'm saying I'd do it before Turtle Rock to
make it a little easier. It is a little annoying to do hammer strats on Trinex or something of the sort.
Yeah, either a hammer or not a hammer. Either a sword or a half magic would both be pretty useful. So,
there's the flute. Just to guarantee this is nowhere close to being a pedestal seed. Alright, Haiku is going into ice, which is really good for him, assuming he does the Fat Fairy afterwards.
Clearly there's a sword in the mire area then, I guess, huh?
Oh, that's right. Maybe both of them sitting over there. At least they have silvers to make it faster.
Yeah. Yeah, the Phase 4 of Ganon, not the big issue, but Phase 1 and 2 a bit annoying, especially Phase 2 with just Master Sword.
So here Haiku's using the hook shot to beat the penguins. As I mentioned, they're ticklish. Insta-kill them. Or you pop them like a balloon. Ooh! Oh,
he's got
that's
powder.
A lot of damage.
I think he's going to make some use of that powder. That's my prediction.
Safety. Oh no, he went down too soon! Is this his fairy? Has he used it? There it is. Oh no, okay. Oh no.
I don't remember when he used a fairy.
Not too much of a time loss. Thankfully, it was early on in this dungeon.
If he does that 10 more times, then he's in some severe danger of losing this race.
Alright, Haiku is setting up the bomb jump. We'll see if he does pause buffer or just sets it up, Link's hat, or whatever he uses.
Oh, it's important to note, as far as the Kane being at Fat Fairy goes, That couldn't happen if there were a key at Cold Stare. A small key. Of course, Cold Stare can never have the big key. But, because then, if there's a key at Cold Stare, that means the logic is requiring the cane to beat Cold Stare. So, Ice Palace couldn't be blocking.
Oh, because it assumes you need the cane to actually access it in that point, because he's holding the small key. You can't beat the dungeon otherwise.
Right. But as long as there's not a key at Cold Stare, then you could just beat.
That is a good point. I didn't realize
vanilla
that.
intended way.
I don't think that happens too often in other dungeons where if a boss happens to drop a certain key. Ice Palace is one of those dungeons where the boss can actually drop a key. You don't see that in all of the dungeons, only a few of them.
Yeah, it's basically whichever bosses aren't behind a key door themselves.
Not even getting a Mimic Cave check. We have no idea what's there, and we're probably never going to see it. And there's a small key in the big chest, which is one of the dungeons that can happen. It's a really good thing to actually check that big chest if you happen to be short on keys, because that could be where it actually is. Like this pin room that Tojso is going into now, this roller pin, that might not be the small key. And in fact, it wasn't. He needed to get that big chest to progress.
And he's gonna have to go to the laser bridge. So we'll see his laser skip skills here. He doesn't have half magic. He does have the safety items, but he doesn't have a lot of magic to use them.
Now, laser bridge, by the logic, actually requires you to have cape, cane, the blue cane, or mirror shield.
Right. That's a recent addition to the logic.
It's basically they made the logic so that way you can never be required to take damage. You should always be able to take no damage. If
or be required to have godlike laser skips like Tojso here.
It's true. There's the small key. He's just going. He's not taking a look at the last chest. He does not care. Master Sword is more than enough to beat the game.
You know we're all curious, though.
Of course. Alright, Haiku is finishing up now. He's going to go battle Cold Stare. Now, he doesn't have enough magic to do Fire Rod. He has to use Bombos on Cold Stare. You need a full magic bar, or half magic, and more than half, of course. And we see Tojso doing the hammer strats on Trinex. Hammers does tempered sword / damage, so it's a little faster than using Master Sword.
Switching over to the ice head to kill that one first so it doesn't spew ice that sticks on the floor.
Nice dodging there from both of our runners, actually.
Yeah, some interesting, somewhat intense boss fights happening at the same time here.
Cold Stare does a ton of like when you have the falling ice and the cotton balls doing so much damage.
Bane.
Oh, he has a safety potion. Oh, just in time. That was a close one.
He was in okay shape. He didn't get hit until well after he used the potion. So
then he got hit like 3 times, but no problem. There's a burrito from Cold Stare.
Did Trinex drop half magic? Is that what just happened?
Yes, it was. I was watching Haiku survive that fight, and Tojso gets half magic, which is a nice thing to have. Not required, but nice. So many boss burritos this game.
And that makes the cape strats on Ganon even more appealing.
That's nice. When you have Master Sword, just to be able to use cape and spin, really nice.
And Tojso... Well, you know, you got a mirror anyway. You might as well just walk to here at this point and... Well, I don't know. I was just gonna say walk there and walk back, but... Because he wants to leave his portal as close to here as possible. So all he's got to do is finish Hera. Is hycutype gonna do the Fat Fairy right away?
Oh, that's good. He's instantly cashing in. He's gonna get Kane, and he's gonna make his way up. I assume he's gonna go right to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, man, congrats to both of these runners for reading the seed pretty well. Tojso just routed it a little bit better, but, you know, neither one of them really doing a whole lot of unnecessary stuff.
The nice thing about doing Hera, and, well, there's a lot of nice things about doing Hera and having a portal right out front to go into Ganon's Tower. But one of the advantages is that you will go in with full magic and full hearts.
Yeah, it'd be pretty tough to screw it up on the walk down.
Oh, there's the red array, which we saw earlier. But Tojso picks it up on the way. He'll take a sword. Like, it's no big deal. Oh, Haiku getting the cane, and he's like, well, that's it for me.
He thought about skipping the other chest. That would be bold right there. It's right there.
Now he'll just save and quit up to... Whoa, Tojso tanking Moldorm there. Of course, blue suit means he does, like, no damage. The worst thing is falling. So that's it. So, it's that time, chat. Tojso's gonna head into Ganon's Tower. That means it's time to get your guesses in. Pick a number between 1 and 22 where you think the big key is, and we'll count it off and figure out who the winner is. And you'll get congrats. And that's it. I like to pick number 14, Bob's Chest.
Is that because your name is also Bob?
No.
Oh. Okay. I've sat through a few Bobtastic commentaries recently, I guess.
Oh, that's true. We had Dr. Bobtastic. I think he's obligated to choose Bob's Chest. I should mix it up. You know, I sort of like the dual firebar room. You know what? I'm going to change my guess to that.
Should we start calling that the jet test? The jet chest?
Sure.
Alright. I don't know if it's going to catch on, but...
No, you know what? The racing fire snake room, that should be the jet chest, because they're going fast.
Are they going fast, though?
No.
They're trying.
They are. Alright, so he did get a small key on the right-hand side, but it looks like he's just going to do the typical any percent route, I guess. Sort of.
Yeah, hycutype has confirmed his skull mode, by the way, and is in Turtle Rock.
And he didn't even need to stop to pick up silver since he was already here in the light world. And there's a red tunic. So nice, what is that, like purplish tunic for the old man?
Oh, this isn't even the red tunic that I remember for him. It's possible I misremember or it's been changed.
So that was number 8 so far, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8. Yeah, that one's number 8. The racing jet chest fire snake room coming up.
Alright, is it in the jet chest?
Nope, just a red rupee.
Man.
Do we have any mods? Chat, ignore any links you see. Do not click on the links, please. I don't have mod access. Do you have mod access?
No, I'm not here. Don't click on those links.
Alright, so far, 13 chests out of the way. Tojso's still looking for that big key. I'm really curious if it was on the right-hand side now, because they did get a small key.
Did he get a small key in the first 2 chests and he chose to go left?
Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like the predominant way now is going right if you get the small key. I'm a fan of going right.
Yeah, especially when you have half magic, it's really, like, easy, low risk to just check that.
I also approve of the route that AA did in his race before this one.
Haiku getting some safety fairies. No
And
more
a few
death
others
dwarfs.
just to dance around.
It's just dodging the anti-fairy. Wait, so Tojso actually opened the middle chest. I guess it wasn't the big key. In which case, Haiku, if he gets the small key from the big chest, he doesn't even have to do laser bridge. Alright, so Tojso is going to the right-hand side. So if your guess is greater than 17, you're in good shape. I mean, if it's on the right-hand side, and if Haiku goes right-hand side, he will save a little bit of time. Alright, Haiku does pick up that small key. He doesn't have to do laser bridge.
Yeah, we talk about some small time saves at this point, but really at this point we're going to need some mistakes from Tojso to tighten this race up. Yeah. It is notable, though, that with just the Master Sword, mistakes are certainly possible. Again, and fall is more likely, but Tojso's a pretty good runner. I wouldn't expect one.
So yeah, number 19. Wait, what? I thought that was number 20. Wasn't it the third one? Anyway, you guess those numbers. Give yourself a cookie. Congrats for if you picked that number. Well, tile room we consider number 22. That's always the last one. You very rarely see any runner gamble on that one.
It's interesting to see Tojso hit that switch again. I feel like I don't see people do that too often. Maybe he's really trying to conserve health here.
No, Vitor, you gotta get your own cookie. I don't provide the cookies. I just say that you earned one.
Oh, sub 130.
Sub 130, I think, is on the. You have Master Sword, so.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna slow him down. If he gets a sword upgrade upstairs, that would certainly help.
Could we see the elusive sword upgrade in the validation chest?
Oh, I've had a sword upgrade there several times.
I know chat would go crazy with that.
There's certainly no way he leaves it behind with just Master Sword. And can you imagine anyone leaving behind the validation chest with just Master Sword?
I think it's one of the only instances where I'll actually open it. Alright, Haiku finishes up. He's about to get some half magic, which is the nice thing about getting half magic from a boss is that your magic refills before the cutscene, quote unquote.
Oh man, saving the frames.
It's all about them frames.
In races that are usually decided by minutes.
We've seen some close races on this channel, but of course, both of the runners getting the same item from the same boss, it really doesn't matter.
Right. Unless one of them used more magic than the other or something.
So Haiku did finish Hera, So he's going right into Ganon's tower now. If he goes right-hand side, he'll save a little bit of time. As we mentioned earlier, really is Tojo's race to lose at this point.
It was interesting that there were no swords at all in the whole left side of Ganon's tower. The whole basement, really. I mean, tile room wasn't checked, but Tojso planting a block. And
I don't know what that was about.
It's the
like,
wrong item selected.
This is news to me. Alright, let's see. Haiku, do you head right? He heads right. Yeah. So this is actually a good play for him. He won't have the red tunic, but he's okay. He's in good shape.
Yep, Tojso opening the chests upstairs, hunting for that extra sword upgrade. Let's see if he opens both the last two.
Those are really quick chests to check. I usually skip this one that Tojo's in now. It's just, it's a little time consuming.
Yeah, it's really not, though. You just hit that, there you go, now we move on, we're on our way.
I don't know, I'd rather be, like, already there. I'd rather not have Master Sword at this point, honestly, but the seed does what it will.
That's what you would do differently. You would just route in swords sooner.
So Haiku opened the first chest that he opened on the right-hand side. Now, important to note, chat, and no swords for Tojso. Important to note, chat, you really don't want to go upstairs without a small key. As you actually notice on Tojso's side, there were no small keys upstairs.
Right,
so,
the only small key upstairs was from the mini Helmasaur, which is not enough because you need two.
Yeah, you really want to make sure you bring one upstairs. You don't want to climb the tower and then not have a key to finish it.
It's a common mistake for newcomers, for sure. And in the stress of Ganon's tower, that's something you might not be thinking about if you're not used to it. Especially when it seems like small keys are so easy to come by in the basement of Ganon's tower most of the time.
Yeah, it is good to know where the non-chest keys are. There's a couple of them.
Pretty nice item 2 there by Tojso. Moving on to Ganon.
Alright, here we go. Let's see how he pulls off the Phase 1 and 2 of Ganon, the tricky parts when you have Master Sword.
Yeah, he's still got at least one potion, probably 2 though.
He has half magic. He doesn't really have to worry about the lamp skip. He has silvers. He can just let that go if he really wanted to.
But it is a little awkward fighting Ganon with just the... Ooh, nice double there. Off the trident bounce.
Yeah. So you need 12 spins on Ganon per phase. So he's going for 12 spins here, and then that's when Ganon will do the fire bat circle.
And then 24... Well, it's silver... It's with silvers. Silverless Master Sword would be 24 spins in
the last
4,
phase.
Right?
Yeah.
Alright, we are seeing some cape usage. Nice.
Ganon didn't quite... He's a little too high, because it would be nice if you could stand, like right here, against the wall, because you could do a double spin by bouncing off of it.
Yeah, you almost always want him to be one tile away from a wall.
And there he is. He's in phase 3.
Double spins.
He has no magic, so he is going to have to use that pot. You need some magic, because you actually have to light the torches to hit Ganon.
I question taking out the torch right away. I'd probably try to set up a silver hit right away. But, oh, whatever. He can play it safe as long as he doesn't fall. He's pretty much going to win here. And he doesn't even use that fire rod that he took out.
Alright, 4 silver hits. Oh wait, well, now 3.
He's playing so conservative with that magic.
You can do so many, especially with half magic, you can do so many land shots.
All right.
All right, that's it for Tojso. He finishes just barely sub 130. We have a finished time on SRL of 129.48, so GG's to Tojso. And Haiku is right there. I mean, he's almost at Moldorm too. He's probably about 5 minutes away.
Yeah, if I'm Haiku, you got to be feeling fairly good about how you played the seed, but it just went a little bit better for Tojso.
Yeah, it was just really the way Tojso routed it. He happened to find Worth real quick.
Only went up Death Mountain one time.
That was not, he was able to pull that off. Let's pull him in here. We can ask him about that. Welcome, Tojso. GG.
Thanks.
How about that godlike routing?
Yeah,
Just like
I
found
felt
all the work pretty quick.
I felt really freaking lucky with that. I think just putting off Death Mountain for the longest time paid off in the best way.
We were just talking about that. Unfortunately, Haiku went twice. He went up there before doing Desert, so he didn't even have mitts. And then he went back again, of course, after getting the mitts.
Oh, wow.
And the cane. But he was sort of right behind you. It was really that, I think it was really that difference of going up to Death Mountain that paid off for you. Since you were able to pull it off, wait on it.
Yeah, if it wasn't
Fat Fairy actually dropping Worth is really weird.
Yeah, if it wasn't at Fat Fairy, I would have gone all the way up to Catfish and Zora, maybe even done the Smithy Loop before going up to Death Mountain. I only wanted to go there once.
So was Swamp ever on your radar?
It was kind of, but I really didn't want to enter it if I didn't have to.
I think that's completely justified. Swamp sometimes has value in this version, but you know, it seems almost as much or more likely to be in other places.
That's actually something Amazing Inferos was going over in his interview on the race just before this one, was that Swamp is less likely to have value compared to how many chests it usually has.
Right. So Haiku just finished up Aghanim. We're going to see some Master Sword strats, because neither of you found Tempered.
That's surprising. I was worried about that the entire time. I was worried about hycutype having the Tempered Sword, which would have sped up a lot of the boss fights, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your position, I would have checked Hookshot Cave and the Super Bunny Cave before Turtle Rock to see if there's a quick sword or something in there. But neither of you actually checked it, so we don't know what's in those caves.
I was actually feeling pretty confident after I got the half magic upgrade and knowing that I had cape that, okay, the first two phases again aren't going to be that bad since I have those two.
Yeah.
And having the 2 blue potions, one for Cold Stare and then saving the other one all the way up to Ganon, really helped out a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And then you got the powder drop and everything, so you got the safeties you needed along the way.
Yeah. Although that death in T-Rock should not have happened. I even told myself, wait a sec, wait for it to get off the ladder, and I didn't.
Yeah. I know. I think, you know, most of us know how you were thinking there. Like, you're like, wait, but hurry. And, you know, the hurry part just won out. And,
yeah.
Yeah, it was a sad moment for all of us, but it did nothing near costing you a chance to win this race, that's for sure. You were well ahead by that point.
Oh, Haiku missing the spin in the third phase, so unfortunately Ganon drops a fire spiral.
Oh no.
But he's okay. He got through it. Honestly, I feel like the fire spirals are worse when Ganon, you know, when he knocked away some of the floor already, because you can be knocked into falling off at that point.
Yeah, it doesn't always keep you in place.
So this puts you at 2-1. How you feeling so far about the
scared.
tournament? You're
I'm scared.
There are a lot of good runners in this tournament. Everyone, of course, there was the giant qualifiers that we had. All of our runners got through that gauntlet. So there are no easy matches.
Yeah, there's some scrubs at 2-1 like me, so you got some chances.
Well, I guess I'm in good company then.
Oh, that's frustrating getting the silver list spins when you've got silvers on Master Sword Ganon.
Oh yeah, just the slight mistime on that. Doesn't even do anything at that point.
And there goes Haiku finishing up. 135.25, so just a little less than 6-minute difference there.
That's pretty close.
It was. Honestly, most of the seed, both of you were sort of like trading back and forth. You were either both going the same path, or like you would go one way, Haiku would go the different way, and then you'd trade off. So most of the race was that. And as I mentioned, Haiku choosing to go up to Death Mountain first, not doing Desert. Like, you went to Desert right away, which paid off huge.
Yeah, those mitts were great to see on the ledge there.
So GG to Haiku. Let's pull him in real quick. We'll do a quick interview with him before we call it an end. So GG to Haiku type.
GG, man.
Yeah, thanks.
It was actually a close one for most of the race there.
Well, if it was close for most, where did I lose it at the end?
So, unfortunately, the big difference is when you went up to Death Mountain, Tojso's somehow he's like, I'm not doing Death Mountain twice. I'm going to put it off as long as possible. And that's actually what paid off because when you went up there, I think you noticed that the only thing of worth you got was silvers, and that's really it.
Yeah, you did a few more overworld locations than he did. Tojso, what happened when you guys both got to Dark World? You went down and did Hype Cave, whereas Tojso put it off, right? And then after Tojso did Hype Cave, he went down and checked Bombos and then went immediately to Desert, whereas it took you just a little longer to make that move down there. So he had the mitts right away, and then he took those mitts and pretty much went almost immediately to Ice. Or no, actually he cleared out Pod and Eastern first, but after Pod and Eastern did an Ice, got his Quake there, which might have been required at the time, but then got the Cane at the Fat Ferry, and then Death Mountain was all go mode. So yeah, it was a extremely efficient route. It was really crazy. You certainly, I don't think you really made any like notable errors in your route. His was just brutally efficient and caught the bad end of a matchup there for sure.
It just fit the seat perfectly for one reason or another.
Yeah, when the boots didn't pay off in the Bonk Rocks or King's Tomb, I knew I was late to Desert when I got there. So, and my execution was just I couldn't stop running into enemies.
I don't know if you're going to go back and watch the VOD, but we made a joke earlier about setting up a Death Warp, which, although I think it was Tojso actually that was sort of setting up a Death Warp in Aghanim's tower. But
no, that wasn't
about both of you. You were like hugging the enemies, and they don't want hugs.
The only Death Warp I tried to set up was Escape, and then found the mirror anyway in that chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just played Sloppy and Escape, and then I got the mirror, and I knew I was going to do Aghanim anyway. But I was doing it with half a heart, so I figured, well, I've got the ferry. I can just use it if I have to.
It was actually neat seeing a back of Escape check, like that sort of sequence break where you took a key, went to the back of Escape.
I don't think Tojso did not even open those chests.
No, he didn't need to. You were going for dungeons.
To be honest,
that's sort of...
I forgot about them, honestly.
Oh no. You would have remembered eventually if something of worth was there.
Yeah.
It did take some time. That's true.
That sequence break is sort of a marginal play. That was just sort of silly.
Yeah.
It could have if that was a glove, that would have been absolutely huge because this was an Aghanim required seed. But if it stuck the glove there, I mean, that would have made a huge difference because Tojso by that point he actually finished the front part of Escape, got his mirror, so there was no way he could have done that sequence break. He had to go Aghanim, but you could have lucked out into that. It really could have went either way. That race.
Well, given the items, it's just sort of unlikely for it to work out that way. That's the right move. You would need to have less items to do things in the Dark World after Aghanim 1 for that play to make more sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do want to say good job to both of you. Chat, while you're still here, make sure you give a follow to our runners. I'll just throw the link up there again. They did a great job. I mean, 130, 135, like those are good times for a randomizer. So well done to both of you guys. And good luck in your future matchups.
Yeah, thanks. And give the commentators and everybody involved with this tournament to follow, too. There's been a lot of hard work put into this thing.
Yeah, big thanks to Feasel, who I did not thank last time. And I'm tired just playing a game after a long day, and he's working all the time to do this.
Yeah, I don't think he sleeps. Feasel, how do you do it?
That was a fantastic race to watch, you guys. This was one of the ones that was on my radar all week for something to maybe commentate, and I'm glad I got to do it. Pleasure watching both of you. So, thanks for putting on a good show for everyone.
So I think we'll call it here. So thank you all for watching. We do have another race tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. FW Brona, I don't know how to say his name, and Rywek. So definitely check that out tomorrow.
Is that is that about all we got for tomorrow right now, or?
We have 4 races. So we have that one. We have Ninjembro and JSR2 Gamers. That's at the same time at 4 p.m. At 8:30 Eastern, we have Pryor versus Spooty Biscuit. And then finally, to cap this all off for the week, we have Zyrak versus Feral Pigman at 11 p.m. Eastern.
Gotta have it way at night so that
that's
we
the
don't
last
get
minute.
The next round set up until like after midnight.
I know, we want to know who our next races are going to be again so we can set it up.
Right. Always that suspense, dragging it out this time. But yeah. Anyway, we get some good races to watch tomorrow. To have that to look forward to.
Yeah. Good job again to both of our racers. And that's it for me. I'm Jet082.
That was Jake Cooper.
Have a good one.